Nothing you say, nothing you try can change time. Human race prepares today.
Press conference for RHW's biggest event of the year, HardcoreMania. For 2 nights, on February 20th and 21st, the world will witness the most intense, brutal, and unforgettable action that real hardcore wrestling has to offer. HardcoreMania is where legacies are cemented, rivalries reach their breaking point, and history is written in blood, sweat, and pure willpower. We are just weeks away from the grandest stage in RHW, and every competitor knows that this is their moment to prove why they belong. The matches, the stakes, and the chaos, it's all coming together for an event that will shake the very foundation of this company. Tonight you will hear from the men and women who will step into that ring at HardcoreMania, the champions who will fight to keep their gold, the challengers who are willing to put everything on the line, and the bitter enemies ready to settle their scores once and for all. The time for talk is almost over, but first, let's get things started. RHW fans, media, and the entire wrestling world, welcome to the HardcoreMania press conference. Now, before we dive into the action, I want to address one of the most anticipated matchups at HardcoreMania, a match that will have the eyes of the entire RHW universe glued to the ring. The undefeated 2-year streak of Christian Morgan, the current international champion, is about to be tested in a way he's never seen before. But before we get to that, let's bring out the man who has been a thorn in Morgan's side, the challenger, the one who believes it's time for that streak to end, the man who steps up to take on Morgan's reign head-on, Clark Ventura. Ventura has made it clear he isn't intimidated by Morgan's record or his reputation. He's determined to be the one who topples Morgan and takes that title for himself. So Clark, why don't you come out here and say your piece before you take on the undefeated champion for the International Championship? The stage is yours.
You know, it feels good to be standing here today. I've been through a lot to get to this point, and now the entire RHW universe is about to witness something monumental. Let me take you all back for a second. When I first walked into this company, I had one goal in mind: make a name for myself. But I didn't just want to be a guy who showed up for a paycheck. I wanted to prove I was the hardest, most dangerous, and most relentless man in this business. That's why I teamed up with Max Powers last season. I wanted to show the world what I was capable of, and under his guidance, I found success. But that was just the beginning. I took down the Destroying the House faction, single-handedly. I showed no mercy, no remorse, and it didn't matter who stood in my way. Then came the King of Hardcore tournament. And what did I do? I made it to the finals. I competed at Hardcore Massacre 4, and though the stakes were high, I proved that I belong at the top. Now here I am, ready to take the next step. And that next step is the RHW International Championship. I've been watching Christian Morgan for the past 2 years, keeping my eye on his undefeated streak, watching him hold on to that title like it's his birthright. But let me tell you something, Christian. There is no one in RHW more prepared to end your streak than me. I've got the hunger, I've got the drive, and I've got the brutality to take that title from you. You've had it easy for the last 2 years, Christian. You've gotten complacent, thinking that no one can touch you. But you've never faced anyone like me. I've been through hell and back to get to this moment, and I will not let anyone, not even you, stop me from claiming that championship. At HardcoreMania, your streak ends, and I will become the new RHW International Champion, because I'm Clark Ventura, and I always finish what I start.
Taylor, for the last 5 years, I have sat here and invested in you because I knew you have the potential to be great. But all you have proven is that you a spoiled plastic entitled bitch. You bitch and moan about things not going your way and have the audacity to blame me for your shortcomings. You the one that got pinned. You the one that dropped the ball against Sammy. You are always the one that got jumped by someone that not here. Being a world champion means you own up to mistakes and learn from them. But since you can't it up to me to teach you a new lesson about what being a world champion is really about, at HardcoreMania, only thing you leaving with is a broken jaw.
Well, folks, it looks like HardcoreMania is already shaping up to be one for the ages. But let me remind you, this is just the beginning. We've got more to come, and we're not done with the big announcements just yet. Now, let's talk about Night 1 of HardcoreMania, where the stakes are higher than ever. The main event of that night will feature a battle for the ages, a war between two of the most dangerous men in RHW. On one side, we've got the reigning undisputed champion, Cyris, a man who has held that title for a year, proving time and time again why he's at the top of this company. He's been a champion like no other, ruling with an iron fist and showing no signs of slowing down. But there's one man who has made it his mission to take down the empire that Cyris has built. That man is Lavo. Lavo has been relentless in his pursuit of the title, and after months of challenges, he's finally got his shot at HardcoreMania. Lavo wants to end Cyris's reign and claim the gold for himself. And make no mistake, Lavo will stop at nothing to do it. So mark your calendars because Night 1 is going to be one hell of a ride. Cyris versus Lavo, the undisputed championship on the line, and a match that will shake the very foundation of RHW. But that's enough talk from me. Let's get things moving. Without further ado, let's bring out our next competitor.
So Sean Lavo, here we are again. I've been hearing a lot of chatter, people talking about you, people hyping you up. They've all been waiting for you to get your big chance, right? Well, let me remind you of something, Lavo. You've been in this ring with me before. I've already taken you down. I've already beat you at Pirates Plunder. Hell, I've defeated you before when the stakes were just as high. And when that bell rings again, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to beat you again. You talk about ending my reign, ending my dominance. But let's get one thing straight. You've failed every time you've been put to the test. People counted on you, Sean. They believed in you. They thought you had what it took to be the guy who could dethrone me. And what did you do? You failed them. You failed them just like you failed everyone else who ever put their faith in you. But that's not all, is it? No, no. See, before you failed in the ring, you sold out. You sold out to anyone who would listen. You made deals. You turned your back on your own principles just to climb the ladder. You think people forgot that? They haven't. They know exactly who you are, Sean. They know exactly what kind of man you've become. So here you are, talking like you're some kind of hero, like you're the one who's going to bring down the empire. Well, let me remind you of something, Lavo. I've already destroyed empires. I've crushed everything in my path. And you're just another footnote in my story. I'm going to end you, Sean. And just like last time, your little revolution ends in failure. You think you've got something to prove? You think you're going to show me what it takes to be the undisputed champion? Let me stop you right there. You're nothing. Just another guy who couldn't cut it, who couldn't get the job done when it really mattered. When the bell rings at HardcoreMania, it'll be just like pirates plunder. I'll be standing tall, holding this title high, and you'll be left wondering where it all went wrong.
You know what, Cyris? You're absolutely right about one thing. I failed. I failed to end you for the first time. I failed to do what I promised to myself and everyone watching. Not only that, the people backstage as well, anyone in any type of management role, I failed everyone. But Cyris, here's the thing. That was the past. And the past is nothing but something to look back on. The past. To evolve from. To learn from. To get better from. And I won't make the same mistakes as back then. Right now, all I focus on is the present. I've spent years battling my demons, watching you tear everything apart, watching you destroy everyone in your path, including me. I was always standing in your shadow, always the one who couldn't quite get it done. But this time is going to be different. I am writing the book how I please now. I'm not going to be the same man back then. I'm not going to be the same person with that same adrenaline and that same rush, with that same motive back then. No. I've evolved. I've learned from every mistake, every failure. And I'm not walking into HardcoreMania 3 as the man who was too weak to finish the job. I'm not walking in as the man who tried unleashing something that I just couldn't do. Not this time, no. I walk in as the man who is going to tear you limb by limb, piece by piece, until I see every little last drop of blood fall from that pathetic body you own. You think you've built something, don't you, Cyris? You think this kingdom of yours is untouchable. I think you need a reality check though. Because this is nothing but a house of cards that's gonna come crashing down from a simple little touch. Oh, what's that? It already seems to be crumbling already. But, Cyris, I'm going to be the one who's going to make sure that every little piece of rubble crumbles and crashes into the earth as there is nothing standing tall anymore. You will no longer be running this land. You've ruled with an iron fist for far too long now. But Cyris, here's something for you to note down. There's only one person in this company who can truly be called the king. And that is me. I failed to end you the first time because I wasn't ready. I wasn't focused. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't mentally prepared enough. I still had doubts in the back of my mind, thinking, am I really going to do this right now? But you bet your bloody ass I'm ready now. This time, I'm not leaving anything to chance. This time, I'm going to finish what I started. And when I do, I will take that title and take you out once and for all. You call me a failure. You call me weak. We will see who the real failure is at HardcoreMania 3. Because after I'm done with you, Cyris, there's going to be nothing left for you to rule. I'm going to make sure you get fraud checked, because over these past few months, it seems like that's what's been happening, hasn't it? You don't look as dominant as before, do you? And now, the final nail in the coffin shall be hammered down, just like I hammer my knee into your fucking temple, and I'll be the one standing tall, holding the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship, proving once and for all that there is only one man who will have control of this company. And that is going to be someone by the name of Cherol Lavo. Get ready, Cyris. You'll wish I fell again. You'll wish you drank my blood again. You'll wish you get to enjoy the moment again. But this time, you will never get up.
You stand there, Sean, spouting all this nonsense about redemption, about how you've changed. You talk about your failures as if they make you a better man. You claim that you're focused now, that you've found your purpose. But let me tell you something, Sean. You're just fooling yourself. You're still the same man who couldn't get it done the first time. You're still the same man who failed when it mattered most. You can try to paint yourself as the hero. You can tell everyone that you've learned from your mistakes. But the truth is, you're just repeating them. You want to talk about my empire, and you want to pretend like it's falling apart. You think that because you finally got your head together, that somehow you figured out a way to bring me down. Well, let me explain something to you. That's called insanity. Insanity, Sean, is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. You've tried and failed before. You've put all your faith in others. You've sold out for your own gain. And what did it get you? A few small wins here and there, but nothing that ever mattered. And now, here you are, trying to convince the world that this time will be different, that this time you're going to stop me. But I'll tell you what, you're insane. You're insane if you think for 1 second that you've earned a shot at ending my reign. I have been the undisputed champion for a year now, Sean. A year. A year where I've faced every challenger, every threat, every obstacle, and I've crushed them all. I've built an empire, not on lies, not on deception, but on dominance. I've built it on my own blood, sweat, and tears. And guess what? That empire, it's standing tall, stronger than ever. You talk about me being a house of cards, but Sean, let me tell you something. You're too blind to see the truth. The truth is, your so-called focus is just a crutch. You can hype yourself up. Tell yourself that you're the one who will finally bring me down, but deep down, you know the truth. When that bell rings, you will be standing across from me. And once again, I will prove to you and everyone else that you don't have what it takes. You can surround yourself with people like Jaden Aries. You can rally the simple-minded people who think you're some kind of hero. But in the end, Sean, they're not going to save you. At HardcoreMania, I will leave you just like I've left every other challenger. On the mat, looking up at the lights, knowing you failed. Again, you want to be a hero? Go ahead. Keep convincing yourself that you can end my reign. But when it's all over, when the dust settles and the crowd is on their feet, it'll be me standing tall, and you will be just another body in my trail of destruction. And when you fail again, Sean, when you fall just like all the others who thought they could take this title from me, I want you to remember this. You were never truly focused. You were never truly ready. And you never, ever had what it takes to defeat me.
You know, Cyris, the first time we clashed, I thought it was finally over. I thought that I'd slain the monster that I'd made. I thought that I finished what I started. I thought that I could destroy the tyrant that you built around this company. But I failed. But let's make one thing clear real quickly, because that one failure will never define me. That one failure is not going to define the rest of my career. It will not define our next matchup, because this time at HardcoreMania 3, I don't care what it takes. I don't care how far I have to go. I don't care what brutality my body has to suffer and go through. You don't understand, don't you, Cyris? You think I'm just another guy trying to make a name off your back. You think I'm just a fool chasing after a title. But this isn't about the title. This isn't about just you. This is about taking you out of the picture. I'm not the failure you think I am, Cyris. I'm the one who will take you down at a HardcoreMania. This will be your final act, and your reign will be over. Cyris, I'll make sure you fall, crumble, slip, and fail. And I'll make sure the one who's standing tall will be the Wallaby King himself.
Pirates plunder, huh? You thought you had me beat that night. You thought you finally had me in your grasp, that you were the one who was going to be the hero, the one to take me down. Yeah, I heard all your talk. You said you were going to end my reign, that you had figured me out. But here's the reality, Sean. You didn't beat me then, and you won't beat me now. The reason you didn't win at Pirates Plunder is because you were never on my level. You were too focused on yourself, on your ego, and you underestimated me, just like everyone else has. You thought I was just some champion you could take down with a few tricks, but you forget one thing. I'm Cyris, and I don't lose. You call me a tyrant. Good. That's exactly what I am. I've earned that title. While you were out there chasing your little fantasies of redemption, I was building something real. Something that no one can tear down. You can call me whatever you want. But at the end of the day, I am the undisputed champion. And I've dominated for a year because I'm smarter, I'm stronger, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to keep this title. And guess what, Sean? I'll stop at nothing to win. Nothing, no rules, no boundaries, whatever it takes to remain on top. You think you're the one who's going to stop me. You think you've learned enough to take down a man like me. You haven't, Sean. You can keep hyping yourself up all you want. You can keep telling yourself you're ready for this, but deep down, you know the truth. You're just another body in my trail. Another failed challenger. You're just like every other fool who thought they had what it takes to dethrone me. And when the dust settles, when it's all over, you'll be lying flat on your back, just like the rest of them. So bring your best, Lavo. Bring everything you've got. Because on night 1 of HardcoreMania, when the bell rings, when we're locked in that ring, and it's time to settle this once and for all, you will once again realize that there is only one king in this kingdom, and it is me. And after I beat you, after I crush your dreams for the last time, I'll remind you why you should have never tried to challenge a champion like me. So keep pretending you've got this all figured out, Sean. But at Hardcore Mania, you'll once again feel the weight of failure crash down on you. And when it's all said and done, it'll be just like it always has been. Cyris reigns supreme.
Well, folks, the tension between those two is undeniable. But before we get back to the action, I had the opportunity earlier today to sit down with one of RHW's top competitors, a man who has been rising through the ranks and has his eyes set on a huge showdown at Hardcore Mania. We're talking about none other than Trevor Dennis, a man who has been dominating and making his presence known in RHW, and who now finds himself preparing for an intense match that could change the course of his career. Trevor will be facing off against a man who's no stranger to controversy, a man with a lot to prove. And with the stakes higher than ever, Trevor is ready to make his mark at Hardcore Mania. So, earlier today, I sat down with Trevor Dennis to discuss his upcoming match and his thoughts going into the event. Let's take a look. Trevor, you've faced your fair share of opponents, but none quite like Ash. What makes this match so different from all the others you've been in?
Good question. Ash is such a unique opponent, you know. I've had a lot of big matches in my career, and Ash is different, and you can tell that just by his look, you know. He's very unique, he's very nuanced, and I feel like just based off of his size, you know, you can tell that this is going to be a different match to what I've been in before, you know. Ash is one of the biggest people on the RHW roster, you know. I'm used to outsizing and outpowering my opponents, but Ash is going to be different because he has the size advantage over me, and I think you'll be able to see that in the ring. I'm going to have to bring a different strategy than just outpowering him, and yeah, it's going to be difficult, but you know, I've got to bring everything I can to the ring. Next question.
We've seen you battle with a lot of heart in the ring, but against someone like Ash, it's clear you'll need more than just determination. What strategy do you have in mind to counter Ash's brutal, calculated approach?
Yeah, you're right. Ash does bring a lot of brutality and, you know, nuance to his strategy in the ring, and it's going to be a lot to counter, but I've watched back a lot of Ash's matches, not just in RHW, but all around, you know. I know he's been to various other companies, and a lot of his moves, you know, while they're strategized and, you know, well-paced, they are able to be countered, and I've found those counters. I'm not going to, you know, delve into the details of each and every single move, but, you know, there's a lot of trends with his moveset, and I'm going to be able to capitalize on it. Next question.
Do you think this match could be a defining moment in your career? If so, why do you think it's so crucial that you get the win at Hardcore Mania 3?
I feel like this is a bit of a self-explanatory answer, you know. This is my first Hardcore Mania. Ash, you know, I'm not sure if this is his first Hardcore Mania, to be honest. You know, I've studied various tapes of his. I've not just gone back to the start of his RHW run to now, so I'm not 100% sure if this is his first Hardcore Mania. But for me, at least, this is a very important match. You know, in terms of losing, I've not really got a lot to lose here. You know, Ash is a well-established star, and, you know, if I were to take the loss, which I'm not going to, you know, I can still come back up. Whereas Ash, if he loses to this newcomer, this rookie, this person who's been getting in his head, I feel like that's going to hurt his credibility, you know. So I think it could be a defining moment for me, whether I win or lose. Whereas Ash, you know, this is a must-win for him, really. And it's going to be sad when he inevitably loses to me. So, yeah. Next question.
You've been in the ring with many top-tier talents in RHW, but Ash has made a name for himself in the hardcore scene. How do you intend to step up your game when the stakes are
I'll tell it to you this simply. I am just as well versed in the hardcore style as he is. Training up You know, I grew up in a wrestling scene that was very, very pivotal on hardcore wrestling. And I don't think Ash really knows what I can bring to a hardcore match. You know, I have specialized weapons that I plan on bringing to Hardcore Mania 3. And I don't think Ash is really prepared for that. You know, Ash normally fights people in hardcore matches that aren't prepared. I am very, very prepared for a hardcore match with Ash. I know what I'm getting into. And I don't think he's prepared for what I'm going to bring to this hardcore match. Next question.
You've been quite vocal about your desire to rise to the top of RHW. A win here could send a statement. What message do you want to send to the RHW universe and your future opponents with your performance at Hardcore Mania 3?
You know, in terms of statements I can make, you know, there's only so much I can say without getting in the ring with every single person one by one. And, I mean, if anybody needs to step up before or after Hardcore Mania, they're more than fine to get knocked back down. But, you know, really, my statement is going to be towards the champions coming out of Hardcore Mania, you know. I think a win over Ash will make it very, very clear that I deserve a title opportunity. And that's not really something I've been able to be given since joining RHW. You know, we've been on this build to Hardcore Mania for a while now. So I've kind of understood for the last few months why I've not been getting title opportunities or as many as I deserve. But after Hardcore Mania, it's pretty obvious that a title is in my future. You know, and in terms of future opponents, you know, I could definitely see a lot of people being opposed to me being at the top of the card. And, you know, if they hate me, beat me. Next question.
Lastly, we've seen Ash unleash his most dangerous side when the pressure is on. How will you keep your cool knowing that this match could quickly turn into pure chaos, especially in front of a Hardcore Mania crowd?
I feel like, you know, getting into a match with Ash, you know, the brutality, the sadisticness, you kind of already know going into a matchup with him that you should expect the unexpected. And I feel like I'm very known for keeping my cool in any scenario in the ring, and I just feel like Ash is gonna, you know, wear himself out with his chaos style. You know, he's gonna realize after a couple, you know, attempts at going all out with the weapons and all that kind of thing, that he's gonna be gassed out, and that's when I'm gonna be able to capitalize and defeat the Prince of Suffering. And yeah, so Hardcore Mania 3, I'm going to whoop Ash's ass. And then after Hardcore Mania 3, you know, your boy Trevor Dennis is headed to the top. It's as simple as that. You can bring as many people and as many weapons as you can, but, you know, the Angel of Death is coming for you, Ash. So yeah, is that all I have to do for this stupid thing? I can go now? Yeah? Okay, cool.
Before we move on, let me remind you all of one thing. Hardcore Mania isn't just any event. It's the ultimate stage where careers are made, where the greatest moments in RHW history happen, and some of the most intense rivalries come to a head. Now, in one of the most intriguing developments leading up to Hardcore Mania, we've seen a dramatic shift in the plans for a major title match. Originally, Johnny Wolf was set to earn his Universal Championship opportunity in a chamber match, a match that would have showcased his incredible resilience and determination. But things took a turn when our co-general manager, Mr. House, decided to throw a wrench into the plans and turn that opportunity into a gauntlet match. Now, this gauntlet match will feature some of the toughest men in RHW, including the Universal Champion Nick Stevens, the always dangerous Ron Black, the unpredictable Sean O'Grady, and the wild card of the match, Adam Reilly, all vying for the chance to prove they deserve to hold the top title in RHW. And of course, standing in the midst of all that chaos is Johnny Wolf, a man who knows what it's like to fight for his place in this company. As a former Royal Gauntlet winner and Hardcore Mania main eventer, Johnny has always had his sights set on the gold, but this time, the path is different. The stakes are higher, and the challenge more dangerous than ever. So, before this huge gauntlet match unfolds at HardcoreMania, let's hear from Johnny Wolf himself.
You know, it's crazy to think about everything that's happened since the first time I stepped into the main event of HardcoreMania. 2 years ago, I walked in as the man who had just won the second ever Royal Rumble, a moment that should have been mine to seize. I should have walked out of that night as the RHW World Champion. But we all know what happened. Brody cashed in his ticket to glory, and just like that, I was denied my moment. But that was 2 years ago. 2 years. 2 long years of working, grinding, and proving myself over and over again. And despite everything I've accomplished, I've been forced to watch as other people have gotten what I rightfully deserved. I've been held back, stepped on, and discarded. But all of that ends now. I went on to prove that I belong at the top of this company by winning the Elimination Chamber at Locked Away and earning my shot at the Universal Championship. It should have been my time, right then and there. I earned it. But instead of getting the one-on-one match I deserved, what happened? The GM, Mr. House, took everything away from me. He turned my opportunity into a gauntlet match. He screwed me over, just like everyone else has, just like they always do. But you know what? It doesn't matter. None of it matters anymore. This time, it's different. I've been Universal Champion before. You remember that, right? Yeah, I held that title, if only for a short time. But I held it, and I know what it takes. This time, I am more than ready. I've been through hell and back. I've fought for this moment more than anyone can imagine. And I am not walking out of HardcoreMania without that title around my waist. Nick Stevens, you've done things in this company that no one should be proud of. You've run people over with a car, you've torn Ricky's eyeball out of his head, and somehow you've convinced people that you deserve to hold the most prestigious title in this company. But I'm here to tell you that you don't. You're unfit to be Universal Champion. You're a maniac, a sadistic monster who doesn't deserve to represent this company. You don't deserve to be the face of RHW. And when I step into that gauntlet, I'm going to prove it. You, Ron Black, Sean O'Grady, Adam Reilly, you'll all get in my way, but it doesn't matter. I'm done playing games. This isn't about just winning the title. This is about proving to myself and to everyone that I can do it. I am the real champion this company needs. I've got unfinished business, and it's time to take my place at the top once and for all. So, Nick Stevens, I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready to feel what it's like to have someone take that title from you. Because when I walk out of HardcoreMania, you'll know exactly who the true Universal Champion is. Yeah, you're good at just standing there, Nick, staring down at me like you own this place. But you know what? You don't intimidate me. I've seen everything you've done. I've watched every twisted, sickening thing you've pulled, and let me tell you, I'm not scared of you, not one bit. You stabbed people, Nick. You didn't just take out your opponents. You stabbed them. In the back, in the heart, wherever you could get that knife in deep. And you didn't stop there. No. You didn't care about rules, you didn't care about the respect of the locker room. You hit people with cars. You ran them over like they were nothing more than speed bumps on your road to destruction. And don't even get me started on the eye. You literally ripped out Ricky's eyeball. Just for the hell of it. You've become the embodiment of everything that's wrong with this business. Selfish, heartless, and a dangerous example of what it means to win at any cost. But you know what, Nick? I'm done with it. I'm done sitting back and watching you destroy everything this company was built on. I'm done watching you run wild with no consequence, no punishment. You think you can keep walking around like you're some untouchable god, like you've earned the right to do whatever you want, hurt whoever you want, just because you're the Universal Champion. Well, you're wrong. You see, I've been at the top before, Nick. I've held that Universal Championship, and you know what? I didn't get it by stabbing people in the back. I didn't get it by running them over or ripping out eyeballs. I fought for it. I earned it. But you? You took the easy route. You didn't build an empire. You destroyed everything in your path, leaving nothing but chaos and carnage. You've shown the world exactly what kind of man you are. But let me tell you this, Stevens. HardcoreMania 3 is where it ends for you. You've had your reign, your little time as champion, but it's coming to a close. You see, this isn't just about proving who's the better man. It's about making sure that someone who's unworthy of holding that title doesn't get to tarnish everything this company stands for. It's about proving that justice will prevail. You've terrorized the locker room. You've made enemies. You've made people fear you. But the thing is, you haven't earned the respect you think you have. You've only made people hate you. You've become the villain in your own twisted story. And when you finally stand across from me in that ring, you're going to realize something. I'm not afraid of you anymore. You may have taken shortcuts. You may have hurt people along the way. But at HardcoreMania 3, I'm taking everything you've built and burning it down. The blood, the sweat, the tears. It all means nothing when it comes to what's coming next. This time, when that bell rings, it's going to be my hand raised. It's going to be me who walks out as Universal Champion. So go ahead, keep staring at me, Nick. Keep playing your little mind games. You can run around calling yourself a monster, a champion, a god. But when the smoke clears, you're going to be just another casualty on my trail of bodies. And this time, there's no escape. HardcoreMania 3 will be the last night you ever hold that Universal Championship. This ends with me, and I'm bringing the pain you've earned.
You think you know me, don't you, Johnny? You think you know everything about me, everything I've done. Well, let me tell you something. You have no idea what I've been through. You have no idea what it's like to be looked down on, to be underestimated, to be treated like you're just another face in the crowd. For years, that's how people saw me. They saw me as this laid-back, chill guy. The guy who was content to just go with the flow. The guy who didn't ruffle any feathers. Everyone treated me like I was just some side character in their story. But you know what? That wasn't who I really was. That wasn't who I wanted to be. So, yeah, I did what I had to do. I did what no one else was willing to do. What everyone thought was too extreme. I stabbed people. Yeah, I did. I stabbed them because they needed to be woken up. They needed to understand that I was not going to be that guy anymore. I hit people with cars, Johnny, because I had to make a statement. It's not about playing nice, it's about taking what's mine. And you know what? It worked. Look at me now. Look at me now, Johnny. I'm the Universal Champion. I'm the guy everyone talks about. They may hate me, they may say I'm sick, twisted, whatever. But they respect me. I've earned that respect. And I'll be damned if I let someone like you, someone who's still stuck in the past, tell me what I've done wrong. You stand there judging me like you're some kind of saint, like you're better than me. Well, I'm not that guy anymore, Johnny. I'm not the guy who's going to play by your rules, who's going to sit back and let people walk all over me. So yeah, I ripped out Ricky's eyeball, but you know what? It was necessary. It was a message. You don't get to be in my way, Johnny. Not anymore. I've done what I had to do to survive, and I've taken this title because I'm the best. And when HardcoreMania comes, when I step into that ring with you and everyone else, I'm going to remind you all why I'm at the top. Because I'm not afraid to do whatever it takes. I'm not afraid to be the bad guy. And you? You're still stuck in your little dream of redemption, thinking you're going to stop me. But in the end, Johnny, you'll just be another footnote in my legacy, because I'm the champion. And no one is going to take that away from me. You want to talk about what I've done, Johnny? Fine, let's talk about it. You think I've gone too far, right? That I've crossed the line. But let's get one thing straight. I don't care about lines anymore. I'm not here to be everyone's favorite, to be the good guy they can root for. I'm here to win, to make sure people remember me. And look at the result. Look at the reactions, the views, the attention I've brought to this company. Let's take a look at the facts, shall we? You want to talk about you. You want to talk about how you've been on the rise, how you've earned your shots. But where's the buzz, Johnny? Where's the attention you've brought? The clip of me ripping Ricky Yamamoto's eye out. Yeah, that got 11,000 views. That's 11,000 people who tuned in to see what happens when you push someone to the edge. People remember that. People talk about that. That's what I've been doing. Creating moments. What about you, Johnny? What have you done to bring new eyes to RHW? What have you done to move the needle? The fact is, you're nothing but a relic of the past. A guy who's trying to relive his glory days while I'm out here making history. You think you can stop me? You think you can just come in here and change the game? You want to try to be the hero? Try to save the day? Be my guest. But remember, Johnny, I'm the one people are talking about. I'm the one making waves. And at HardcoreMania 3, I'm going to make sure you and everyone else realizes it's my world now. If you think you're the one who's going to stop me, then go ahead and try. But when it's all said and done, you'll be just another casualty in the wake of my rise.
Nick, stop. Not here. Not now. You've already made your point. Nick, you've already got the attention. You've made everyone look at you. You've done what you needed to do. But you don't need to finish this here. Not with Johnny. Not now.
You're right. I've got the attention. I've got their eyes. And maybe I've already said everything I needed to say. I've done the damage, Johnny. I've made my mark. You can stand there and talk about your past, about what you deserve, but that's not what matters now. What matters is the future, and I already know what's coming. You want to take my title? You want to try to beat me at HardcoreMania 3? Fine, but you won't stop me. Not now, not ever. So yeah, I'm walking away, for now. But just know this, Johnny. You've got a target on your back, and when the time comes, I'll be right there to make sure you never forget who the true champion is.
So, what was that, huh? Nick, you talking to ghosts now? Who the hell were you talking to? I mean, there was no one there. Not a soul. Just you and me, right? Huh? That's the best you've got. You've got voices in your head telling you what to do now? I guess that's one way to cope with everything you've become. But let me be clear, there's no one to save you when it all comes crashing down. I don't care about your games, Nick. I don't care about who you think you have in your corner, real or not. What matters is this. When we get to HardcoreMania 3, it's just you and me. No distractions, no ghosts, no excuses. You want to talk about attention? About making a mark? Fine. But come HardcoreMania 3, Nick, I'll be the one leaving with the Universal Championship, and there won't be a damn thing you or your hallucinations can do to stop me.
How y'all doing tonight? Hope you're having a good time. I'm not sure exactly how long this has been going on for. I literally just pulled up 5 minutes ago. Fucking Grim and the other CEOs, they were like, you gotta go out there, you gotta talk shit about your opponent. So, where to start? A few weeks back, Azrael stuck his nose in my business. That doesn't sit well with me. I'm one of those people who believes in showing up, doing what I'm paid to do, getting paid, and then working my opponent the best I can. I do the very best job I can, what I have. If Azrael wanted my attention, he could have just simply taken out my opponent. But instead, he waited until we were both weak, thinking we were maggots. Now, Fatal I have a lot of respect for, because of the fact that we shared the ring twice. I pinned you, you agreed to move on, and I did as well. But Azrael, I don't respect you. At Mania, this ends. Now I requested a normal match to prove to myself, to prove to everyone here that I can do this. That I don't need to rely on barbed wire. That I don't need to rely on weapons. Because my roots are set in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. I grew up watching Canadian independent wrestling, where I stumbled upon RHW one day. A fan showed me a clip and said, it'd be really cool to see you fight Cyris, see you fight Christian Morgan, Hinata, see you fight some of the biggest names in pro wrestling. Well, understand this. I don't care if it's Sean. I don't care if it's Hinata. I don't care if it's Cyris. Bring me your best, because I will knock them out. Stipulations don't matter. And Azrael, you're barking up the wrong tree, because I'm not somebody to fuck with. How do I think the match at Hardcore Mania is going to go? I think it's going to go with one of us leaving a bloody mess and the other leaving on a stretcher. Because I was talking to Grim, rules might be in play, and I said I didn't need to rely on weapons, but that's slightly a lie because you see, I am a walking weapon. I've spent 6 years on the Indies. Let's see if it pays off.
What a night it's been, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen some intense moments, some shocking promos, and we've got even more to come. But before we wrap things up, we've got 2 more things for you, and trust me, you're going to want to see this. We've seen the violence, the drama, the chaos, but nothing compares to the carnage we're about to witness. It's time to talk about the Workhorse Championship, and the match we've all been waiting for, the Light Tube Death Match. So without further ado, let's bring out the men who will be fighting for that title. First, the reigning Workhorse Champion, the man who's willing to do whatever it takes to keep that title, Jaxson Drake. And now, let's welcome his challenger, a man who's fought tooth and nail for this opportunity, a man who's as dangerous as they come in these kinds of matches. Please welcome Ty Matthews. Both of these men are hungry. Both of them are willing to bleed for that championship. And come Hardcore Mania 3, they're going to show you exactly why this will be one of the most brutal matches we've ever seen in RHW history. Light tubes will shatter, bodies will break, and only one will leave as the Workhorse Champion.
You know, Ty, I don't have much to say to you. I said everything I needed to on Out of Control. Everything that needs to be said has already been said. You and I both know this is going to be nothing more than a bloodbath when we face off. But that's exactly how I like it. But seriously, Ty, what's with the getup? Is this some kind of statement? I mean, this is a press conference, not a trip to your deadbeat Aunt Nancy's house. You could have at least shown up looking like you belong here, like you actually have some respect for this business. But no, you show up looking like you're about to take a nap in a park. It's almost as if you're already given up. But hey, that's just the way you are, right? You think looking scrappy makes you tough, but we both know that doesn't matter. When we step into that ring at Hardcore Mania 3, it's going to be all about who can last longer. And trust me, Ty, I'm built for this. You'll just be another casualty in my title reign.
Oh, Jaxson, you really are something, aren't you? Running your mouth about respect and whatnot when all you've been doing is hiding behind your little friends to keep that title. Let's not forget what happened at Out of Control, huh? You couldn't even get the job done yourself, could you? You needed someone else to do your dirty work, like the coward you are. You say you've got everything under control, but we both know the truth, Jaxson. You've needed help in every single title defense. I'm not impressed by you playing games, trying to act tough. You're nothing more than a paper champion. And as for what I'm wearing, well, let's take a look at Jeff Hardy. Now there's an icon. Jeff Hardy would do whatever it took to get the job done. And so will I. I'm not here to play dress up like you, Jaxson. I'm here to get the job done, no matter how brutal it gets. So, you want to know why I'm dressed like this? Because at Hardcore Mania 3, when that light tube match goes down, I'm going to show you exactly what it means to be hardcore. And Jaxson, trust me when I say this. At Hardcore Mania 3, I'm going to shove a light tube so far up your ass it's going to come out your obnoxiously sized nose.
You know, Ty, I honestly thought you'd have more than just cheap shots and insults. But here we are, huh? Resorting to nothing but cheap appearance jokes. How original. I thought we were here to talk about the Workhorse Championship. But I guess you're too busy worrying about what I'm wearing, huh? Just like the little boy you are. Let me make one thing clear. I respect this title. I respect what it means. This isn't just some piece of metal to me, Ty. This is a symbol. It's a statement. It stands for everything I've worked for, everything I've earned. This is the title of those who grind, those who fight through the pain, and who leave it all in that ring. I didn't get here by luck, and I sure as hell didn't get here by running from a challenge. I got here because I earned it. That's something you clearly don't understand. You want to keep talking about me needing help, huh? You think Kendrick Russell helps me because I can't handle things on my own? Please, Ty. Kendrick knows damn well that I can teach him something. I'm not some big name looking for someone to carry me. He helps me because he knows the value of learning from someone who's been where he wants to be. You, though? You could use a little mentorship. I could take you under my wing, show you what it means to be a true workhorse champion. I could show you how to fight for respect, how to keep that title and honor it. But nah, you're too caught up in your own little world, thinking you can just run your mouth and get by. I'd show you what true perseverance is, what it really means to earn every inch of your success. But you're too much of a joke to even take that seriously. So here's what's going to happen at HardcoreMania 3. I'm going to smash a light tube over your skull, Ty. I'll outshine you in every way. I'll leave you broken, barely able to stand, while I walk out with the Workhorse Championship still around my waist. You can talk all the trash you want, but deep down, you know that I'm not just better than you. I'm in a whole different league. You're just a failed dream trying to latch onto something bigger. And at HardcoreMania 3, I'm going to make sure everyone knows it.
You want to talk about respect? You want to talk about what this title means? Well, here's the thing, Jaxson. I've overheard something you haven't. I've heard Kendrick Russell talking, and it sounds like he's almost done helping your bitch ass. That's right. The same guy you've been hiding behind for so long, the same guy who's been giving you a crutch every time you couldn't get it done on your own, he's about done with you. You can pretend all you want, Jaxson. Act like you're some workhorse, and that Kendrick's by your side because he believes in you. But the truth is, you're nothing more than a fraud. A paper champion who hides behind anyone who will help him. And the worst part? You're so damn arrogant you can't even see it. You really think you're better than me? You really think you can talk down to me like I'm the one who doesn't belong here? It's almost pathetic, really. You're like a damn broken record. So stuck on this delusion that you've earned everything, when all you've done is ride the coattails of others. And come HardcoreMania 3, I'm going to shove that light tube so far up your ass that it'll come out of your obnoxiously sized nose, just like I've been saying. You think you're the workhorse, Jaxson? Nah, you're a joke. A damn joke. And don't worry, Jaxson. By the time HardcoreMania 3 is over, you'll finally understand what it means to be outshined. Just like all the other failed champions before you, you're nothing, and at HardcoreMania, I'm going to break you. You're not going to have Kendrick. You won't have anyone left. Just me. And when I leave with that title, you'll be nothing but a forgotten name.
For years, the Costello family has been the silent backbone of this company. We've been supporting RHW financially, quietly, and without asking for anything in return. But it's time for a change. The time for sitting in the shadows is over. You see now I have a seat on the board, and that means that things are about to get very, very different around here. You've seen all the big names, the new faces making their mark, the shifting dynamics. Some of you have questioned how all of this is happening. Why suddenly the Costello family is at the forefront of RHW. Well, I'll tell you exactly why. It's because, for too long, this company has been operating under the false idea that it can continue as it has. But no more. Under my direction, things will change. We will not just be part of the action, we will control it. We'll dominate it. But first, there's the matter of Tiger Brown. Tiger made a fatal mistake, and that was messing with the wrong family. You see, Tiger thinks he can just show up and take what's mine. But I've been in this business long enough to know how these things work. If you step in the way of the Costello family, you will pay the price. At HardcoreMania 3, Tiger will learn that lesson firsthand. He'll be standing in the ring, thinking he's earned his shot, but what he doesn't realize is that it's not about whether or not he wins. It's about what happens after he does. You see, I'm going to win that contract. I'll cash it in. And in doing so, I will become the first member of the Costello family to hold the World Championship. And when I do, everything will fall into place. RHW will belong to us, just like it always should have. This company has had its fun with other people at the top, people who claim to be the face of RHW, the champions of this place. But I can assure you, once I take that title, it will never go back to the hands of anyone who isn't part of the Costello legacy. So Tiger, bring your best game, but remember, it's never been about your skill. It's about who you're fighting for. And this time, that's me. The Costello family is here to stay, and RHW, it's ours.
Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible night it has been so far. We've seen the best of the best go head-to-head, witnessed drama and intensity like never before, but now, it's time for one final event. This one is personal, and it's one of the biggest matches in RHW women's history. Best friends turned bitter enemies, the clash of two women who've both made their mark on this company in monumental ways. On one side, we have the reigning women's world champion, a woman who has broken every single record this company has ever had, over 500 days as world champion, a streak that has made her an undeniable force, a woman who has carried this division with pride, the forever champion, Madison Reyes. And on the other side, we have the woman who was once her closest ally, her best friend, until betrayal tore their bond apart. A woman who won the 2024 Women's Royal Rumble to earn this shot. A woman who, after all the heartbreak, now fights for revenge, and to prove she is not just Madison's shadow, she will step into the ring at HardcoreMania 3 with everything on the line. Cherol Malone. As you all know, Cherol earned her shot by winning the Women's Royal Rumble. But what makes this match even more personal is the betrayal that sparked this rivalry. Madison Reyes, the woman who Cherol once called her best friend, orchestrated a heinous assault that left Cherol broken, physically and emotionally. That assault set the stage for the intense battle you'll witness at HardcoreMania 3. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. This is not just about titles. This is about honor, revenge, and settling a score that has been months in the making. Without further ado, let's bring them out here.
October 7th, 2023. That was the day my life changed. That was the day that I won the RHW Women's World Championship. And now, almost 500 days later, 17 clean title defenses across various countries and promotions. The longest reigning champion in all of RHW history. The woman who made a difference and brought change to this division that was once dying. And yet, some of you still treat me like I'm the villain in this story. Why? Because I'm loud? Because I talk too much? Because I call it like I see it? Or because I refuse to fit into the little box you tried to stuff me into when I walked through those doors? When I first arrived here in RHW, I wasn't the star of the show. I was nobody. I was just a manager. RHW officials saw me as a prop, a pretty face who could hold a microphone while someone else got the glory. 9 months. 9 months of standing on the sidelines, watching everyone else wrestle while I was stuck as Christian Morgan's manager. And when they finally let me step into this ring, they fed me to Kong. Twice. I wasn't supposed to succeed. I wasn't supposed to become champion. But I did. In just my 4th ever singles match, I shocked everyone. I proved that I'm not just a voice, not just a face, I'm a fighter. I beat Sammy Rogue and became a champion. And if you all remember, I kind of disappeared not too long after that. Your women's champion went MIA for 6 months. Then I eventually made my big return to RHW like nothing ever happened. Now, remind me real quick, everyone, what was the story that the board of directors ran with? They said I went on a 6-month paid vacation or something like that, right? Well, I've got a big scoop for all of you, and the board's not going to like this, but I'm sick and tired of holding all this shit back. That whole vacation thing, that never happened, bro. I never chose to leave this place. The board of directors paid me to go away. I was never supposed to become the champion. The board never wanted me here. After being held back for so long, I made the most of my opportunity, and I did what nobody thought I could. And instead of celebrating that, RHW gave me 2 options. I could either take their money, shut up, and stay away, or risk getting blacklisted from this business. I mean, who would anybody believe? The board of a successful wrestling promotion, or some rookie that nobody ever heard of? Do you know what it's like to sit in your house, holding a title you earned, knowing the company doesn't want you around? They crowned a new champion, acted like I didn't exist, and for 6 months, I had to live with that. But I couldn't stay quiet. I couldn't let them erase me. So I took the $6 million they gave me, doubled it, and gave it all back, every last cent, just so I could come back here and prove that I belong. I sold everything. I sold my old gear and every single knee pad I've ever owned. Hell, I barely had enough for a plane ticket to get to the next show, but I made it back. And since then, I've given everything to this championship. Every match, every defense. I fought clean, I fought hard, and I fought fair. I've carried this division, not just because I wanted to, but because I had to. Because if I didn't, no one else would. And then Cherry came along. My friend. My only friend. Do you know what that meant to me? To finally have someone who didn't just see the cocky, annoying Madison Reyes. Someone who stood by me, fought beside me. Cherry Stars wasn't just a tag team. It was the first time in my life I didn't feel alone in this business. But then you had to go and win the Royal Rumble. You were supposed to be my friend. My best friend. A human heart costs $442,000 and I gave you mine for free. Then you destroyed it. You weren't supposed to win the Rumble? Wembley was supposed to be my big moment. The moment where I show everyone that I truly belong here. That everything I fought for was worth it. And you ruined it. I was supposed to fight some loser. Some dastardly heel. Not my best friend. Cherry. Sometimes when I get frustrated, I kick like super duper hard, and I don't want to hurt you. I tried to get out of this match for us, to protect both of us. But I made an oopsie. I went to Sammy Rogue because I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't want to hurt you. You were never supposed to get hurt. I just wanted to slow you down, make you think twice. But Sammy went too far. And now everyone thinks I'm the villain, again. But let me make one thing clear. I didn't come this far, fight this hard, to lose everything at HardcoreMania. You want this championship, everyone does. But what you don't understand is that this isn't just a championship to me, it's my life. Without this, I'm nothing. This title is proof that I belong here, that I've fought harder than anyone else to stay here. Cherry, no. Cherol, you've got the crowd, the hometown advantage, the fairy tale story. But me, I've got everything to lose. This isn't just about the title. This is about proving one more time that I'm the greatest wrestler in RHW history, that I've earned every second of this reign. So, bring everything you've got at HardcoreMania. 3 stages of hell is kind of crazy, I'm not gonna lie. But I'll see you in the Madison Reyes Invitational, where we'll see if you can outlast me. I'll see you in the steel cage, where I'll prove I'm tougher than you. We're definitely not doing that deathmatch shit. That's criminal. We don't even get health insurance here. This is gonna end with the first 2 falls, and when my hand is raised once again, you and everyone else will finally understand. Madison Reyes isn't just the star of the show, I am the show.
Madison, there's something I can't stand about you. I never could. You want to be the main star. You want to be number 1. Always. Since I met you. Since we formed Cherry Stars. But you know what? I accepted it. I accepted that you were number 1 because you were my friend. And because I know you can't live without it. But this isn't just your moment anymore. It's mine, too. I've been in this business since 2020, during the damn pandemic. Training alone, Without experience, without trainers, no one gave me anything. No one. I got sick. I spent months locked in a hospital. I suffered a serious injury. I lost again and again, but look at me. Just look at me. Here I am. You think your path in RHW has been hard. Do you understand what I've been through? When this company contacted me, my boots were collecting dust in a closet, and as for me, I was in bed thinking my dream was over, that my path in this business had been in vain. RHW gave me a new chance, and it wasn't easy for me. When I arrived here, I found an incredible roster. Women passionate about wrestling who weren't going to give me a single chance. And then I saw you, the champion, so bright and egotistical. I could only think, wow, one day I want to be there. I want to represent the show that gave me my life back, wrestling. I want to wear that championship with pride. Someday, I want to be like you, Madison. And when we finally met, it was great. I never had many friends in this business, and you showed me that you were someone loyal, a true friend. I trusted you. I always trusted you. And when I got the chance to fight for a championship, I couldn't choose any other than yours. But not because I hate you, not because I want to end your reign. When I step into a ring, I don't see enemies in front of me. I see a sister who wants the same thing I do, and there's nothing more satisfying than achieving it that way. Madison, my best friend, and I, face to face in the most important show of my life. It was like a dream come true. But you decided to change, to be selfish, to think about your damn championship and not your partner. You know what, Madison? I do understand you. Your life is so empty that you have to fill that void with gold. It's really sad. And even though you almost ended my career after injuring me, I think I can forgive you. At the end of the day, you're simply obsessed. Do you want to keep being number one? Do you want to keep being the forever champion? Well, UK HardcoreMania. You and me in the most important women's match in RHW history. It's the first time I'm going to step into a ring in my home. In England, I'm going to represent this flag with pride, and I'm going to turn an entire country against you. I'm just telling you so you can be ready. I don't want to fight a cowardly and scared Madison, overwhelmed by the pressure of the arena. I want your best version. I want to defeat the forever champion, Madison. This isn't about the championship anymore. It's about my pride, for my country, for justice, for RHW, and for you, because I know you're just a victim of yourself. Maybe someday we can be friends again, because I still care about you. But for now, Madison, brace yourself for one of the longest nights of your life. I've been through hell, time and time again, and not as some misunderstood manager, but as a real victim of this business, a victim of a virus that almost ended my career and my life, a victim of deceit, of betrayal, and of you. This match is just another stone in my path, nothing more. You think you are the show, Madison? When the bell rings and you have nowhere to hide, you will know what a real show is. RHW fans, Madison has been an excellent champion. She has defended her reign with honour, so when the match is over and the championship is mine, I only hope you recognise how important her reign has been for RHW. Madison Reyes, my friend, my good friend, see you soon.
Laid on the floor again, one knock at the door and then we both know how the story ends. You can't win if your white flag's out when the war begins. Aiming so high but swinging so low, trying to catch fire but feeling so cold. Holding inside and hope it won't show. I'm saying it's not, but inside I know today's gonna be the day you notice, cause I'm tired of explaining what the joke is.
This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd, fire in the sunrise, ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd.
number 10 to 1. Back then should've bit your tongue, cause there's no turning back. This path once it's begun, you're already on that list. Say you don't want what you can't resist, waving that sword when the pen won't miss. Watch it all falling apart like this.
This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd, fire in the sunrise, ashes raining down. Try to hold it in, but it keeps bleeding out. This is what you asked for. Heavy is the crowd.
Today's gonna be the day you notice, cause I'm tired of explaining.
What's the difference between a man and a monster? Is it somewhere between I can and I want to? Is it somewhere between the promises I made and the fact I couldn't see something getting in the way? I used to think that I know what I want, never saw it coming unglued. I used to think that I know what I want, now it's time to see if it's true. I had so much certainty till that moment I lost control. And I've tried, but it never was up to me. I've got no worse enemy than the fear of what's still unknown. And the time's come to realize there will be promises I can't keep. And a forfeit. I tried to make it better, but I made it more sick. I tried to make it right, but now awake at night, I know reality was getting in the way. I used to think that I knew who I was, never saw it coming unglued. I used to think that I knew who I was, now it's time to see if it's true. I had so much certainty till that moment I lost control. And I've tried, but it never was up to me. I've got no worse enemy than the fear of what's still unknown. And the time's come to realize there will be promises I can't keep. Till that moment I lost control. And I've tried, but